Hello folks, Florentine Saint-Yves here. Welcome to this King's Throne video, part 1 of the How to Correctly Build Heroes series. Correctly building your heroes is one of the most crucial aspects of the game, and in order to do so, you must be aware of many things that this series will try to teach you. There's a lot to cover, but also a lot to learn for the newer players, so I hope you enjoy it, and if you have any further questions, don't hesitate to ask on the comments section. In this first part, we will take a quick look at the ways to build your heroes, why you should not try to collect every hero of the game, learn the fact that some heroes are better than others, mainly because of paragons, and we will do an overview of the different types of heroes you have at your disposal. To start off, let me remind you the different ways you have to improve your heroes: raising their level, raising their quality, upgrading their paragons, improving their bonds with their maiden, giving them attributes tomes, and enhancing them. This immediately means something important. While you can always raise one's level, quality, enhancement or attributes, some heroes are not tied to a maiden or haven't got any paragon. This hampers their potential, compared to other heroes. In other words, some heroes are better than others, and you should always want to focus on heroes that have the highest potential, to a certain degree. Remember that your kingdom power is more or less the sum of all your heroes' attributes. Since the goal of the game is to have the highest kingdom power possible, you need to know how your actions and choices when improving heroes will impact your kingdom power. This brings us to another important point. Before even considering improving our heroes, we have to choose which heroes we should unlock in the first place. You should not see King's Throne as a Pokemon game. We don't need to collect all heroes. In fact, unlocking a new hero is a mistake if you don't plan on strongly improving him. What you'll end up having is a collection of weak heroes, and you will be a prime target for anything PvP related like tourneys or deathmatch. Now if all the fun you get in the game comes from unlocking and collecting as many heroes as possible, that's fine by me. After all, one is free to play the game the way he wants, and I have absolutely no problem with that. Just bear in mind that you won't be competitive on tourneys, and because you're so short on resources to upgrade heroes, you will have to sacrifice some heroes along the way. Back on topic, how do you value and rank heroes compared to others? The first thing you should look at is their paragons, because it's the bonus that will have the biggest impact on your hero's attributes, thus your kingdom power. I'll explain why later in this series, but before jumping into some more complex and mathematical matters, I think it's appropriate to quickly showcase the different families of heroes available in the game, and look at their pros and cons. I'll sort all the heroes into 6 categories: baseline heroes, squad heroes, heroic maidens, zodiac heroes, VIP heroes, and event heroes. Baseline heroes are the one you can't escape from. You will unlock them no matter what, and you will have to play with them. They either come from the story or are unlocked when you raise your kingdom rank. I count 33 baseline heroes, each with their own attribute of choice, but what stands up is that none of them have any paragon. Some don't even have a maiden, and for these reasons, they are considered the weakest heroes. What I mean by that is that they have the lowest potential to grow big, and spending an insane amount of resources on them is usually not the correct choice, unless you want to achieve something very specific which we won't cover here. The problem is that you will have to play with them in the beginning, and you'll have to develop them to a certain point until you can afford to get better heroes. Later in the game, when considering tourneys, you will even have to upgrade them because they will form your weak point, but for now just keep in mind that the sooner you get more powerful heroes to work with, the better. What I call squad heroes are the ones of the following families: Round Table heroes, Legend heroes and Bogotter heroes. Each member of the family buffs the others, hence the squad title. There are 5 Round Table heroes: Lancelot, Gawain, Galahad, Percival, and Tristan. They all specialize in the military attribute, and while they have no maiden, they come with strong paragons. If all 5 are summoned, they each gain a 120% military bonus for free, and can gain an additional 50% bonus to all attributes should you work on their paragons. Arthur, Roland, Beowulf and Siegfried are the 4 legendary heroes. Unlocking them all will give a 75% military and provision attributes bonus to each of them, and they can gain an additional 50% bonus to all attributes as well. Round Table and Legend heroes are a great and affordable choice of power heroes for long-term development. Grails and Excaliburs are not the hardest tokens to grab, and even VIP 0 players should be able to summon them quickly to start building them. The only problem you'll face is that they are all military or provision heroes. They lack fortune and inspiration potential. Bogot or warriors could help with inspiration. There are 5 of them, and when all 5 are active, they gain a 90% bonus to military and inspiration attributes. They can also be boosted with an 80% bonus to all attributes, which is definitely pretty strong. The only problem is that helmets don't frequently come by, nowhere near as much as grails and swords. In theory they are quite powerful, but should you go this road, you might struggle to collect those sought-after helmets. Heroic maidens are the bread and butter of this game. These beautiful ladies all come with paragons of some sort, and are their own maiden. There are plenty of them, meaning there will always be a heroic maiden that will answer your needs, should that be about military, fortune, provision or inspiration issues. Except for Middle East charm heroic maidens, who work in pair, they all are independent and can be worked on separately. 2 cons though, their tokens are quite expensive, gem-wise, and some of them are better or worse than others. They are not equal in power and potential, and you should be careful not to get trapped by an heroic maiden that in fact is weaker than the others. That's why we commonly rank them into 3 tiers, based on their paragons. Tier 1 includes the best heroic maidens, and that is those with a 175% bonus potential to their main attribute: Elizabeth for military, Louise for fortune, Cersei for provision, and Pernell for inspiration. Heroic maidens with a 150% bonus potential to their main attribute are Tier 2, that would be Diana for fortune, Mary for provision and Mulan for inspiration. All the others are considered Tier 3 heroic maidens. That doesn't mean they are bad though. A fully paragon Tier 3 heroic maiden will always be better than a Tier 1 without any paragon, but from a theoretical point of view, Tier 1 heroic maidens have the best potential. Zodiac heroes are kind of a squad family too, like Round Table or Legend heroes. They work differently though, and have some unique features. There are 12 Zodiac heroes, each with his own maiden. To benefit from their first paragon, you need to unlock both the hero and his appropriate maiden. The first couple unlocked this way will grant a 40% bonus to all attributes for the hero, and each additional couple summoned adds a further 10% bonus to all attributes. Since there are 12 couples, this paragon can go up to a whopping 150% bonus to all attributes for each Zodiac hero. Their second paragon won't buff their attributes in any way, but rather will have a great impact on PvP activities. Zodiac heroes can be an insidious trap. Without their maiden, they are no better than baseline heroes. And the problem is that it's harder to collect the maiden than the hero, so be very careful about that. Working on Zodiac heroes asks for a lot, time and money wise, because you have to unlock many of them to make them worth it. 12 heroes and 12 maidens for a 150% bonus to all attributes? Consistently ask yourself if you're up to the task, because it would be way easier to work on heroic maidens, with better or similar results. Honestly, if you don't plan on spending money in this game, stay away from them. Heroic maidens will be your top choice, easier to collect, easier to grow, and overall they will yield better return on investment. I would give the same piece of advice to anybody who doesn't want to spend thousands of dollars. Now if you're a whale, well, it's true that they make a powerful team for PvP activities and are worth considering. VIP heroes are the ones you unlock when you spend a certain amount of money in the game. Now I know what you think, heroes unlocked when spending money. They certainly are the most powerful one to entice players. Well, surprisingly enough, they are not. They are as weak as baseline heroes, excluding maybe Vlad and Frederick Barbarossa. Why? Because they don't have any paragons. Even Vlad and Frederick ones are pretty lackluster, and some advanced players go as far as not to claim them when they break a VIP level. Now if you spend money, that's fine to unlock them, but yeah, treat them as shiny baseline heroes. Hamlet, Eriksson, Vlad and Frederick Barbarossa are okay, I guess, but for another reason, they do have a lot of quality traits, and in theory, if you max them all, that's a crazy amount of quality you can give to them. This will offset the lack of paragons, but since those heroes come from VIP 9 and onward, they are not suited for the majority of players. Reaching VIP 9 alone means you have spent $16,000 into the game, so yeah, if you did that, you're probably not watching this video anyway. Finally, event heroes. There are too many of them to list them all, so I won't go into detail for each of them. Event heroes are the one that are obtainable for a short period of time, like Halloween or Valentine's Day for example, though their tokens are sometimes marginally available after that. You have to be careful about these heroes, they usually are relatively easy to obtain, but don't forget that to make them more powerful than baseline heroes, you have to get tokens for their paragons as well. This means that if you need 50 tokens to summon them, you usually have to get at least 200 more tokens to work their paragons, and even 50 more if you want to enhance them. That's a total of 400 tokens, far more than what you need to simply unlock them. TLDR is that you need to make a decision when it comes to event heroes. You either are ready to spend a lot of gems or money if you decide to go for one, or simply skip him altogether. If you go for one, be sure to check if he's worth the trouble, by comparing his paragons to heroic maidens ones. Also check how high you can level his paragons and only go for it if he beats heroic maiden's potential. If you're a reasonable spender, that is VIP 8 or lower, this is probably a one-time move, because it's better to work on the one you already unlocked and built, rather than going for another new one. And that wraps up the first part of this series. You should now have a better understanding of the different type of heroes available in the game, and be able to make your mind about a hero's potential. In the next episode, we will start diving into the different ways of building your heroes and the mathematical intricacies of each way. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please leave a positive comment or click on the like button. Thank you for watching, and I hopefully will see you around next time. Bye bye.